wanted to stop in real quick and tell you guys what's happening out here in the garden and kind of document it for you guys. But today is October 1st and it is one of the coolest days we've had. We did have some days down in the 60s and 50s like 2 weeks ago, and then it's been getting back up into the 80s and 90s. But today the high is like 72. So the days are going to start cooling off here. Our estimated first frost for Zone 7A in southeastern Kansas is October 18th, which means I have approximately 17 days. Now what I did today is I ripped out the bean plants that were in this half of the garden bed just because they weren't producing a lot anyway. I barely would get enough off of the plants to use as a side for dinner, and I think that is mainly because I accidentally planted pole beans in here instead of bush beans. I think it would have been a different story. I think I would have gotten a little bit more out of them had I not mixed up my seed packs. But I haven't been harvesting really off of them. I've just been trying to let the green beans get dry on the plant so I can try and harvest some seeds off of them. So that's what I'm about to do right now. I'm about to go sit my little happy butt down over there and pick through and get all the green beans, whether they're edible or whether I can save them for seeds, just get them all off the plants before I toss them into the garbage bin. So that cleaned out this half of the bed. Now this bell pepper plant is huge. Now that all the green beans and everything around it are pulled out, you can really see the size that this one bell pepper plant has gotten and how it has just toppled over, but it is still got a good handful of peppers on these plants. So I am going to look at all these peppers. There's more down here. I'm just going to leave it in until the frost to make sure that I can get these peppers a little bit riper, so I can throw them in our freezer bag of our peppers we've got. And this, see, the beans have just gotten everywhere. This down here, eventually I'll be able to get them out, but is that marigold I showed you guys, I think, in that garden tour. Oh, he accidentally got ripped out. Dang it, never mind. Well, there's one more in here. Oh, it got the top got ripped off, but the plant is still down here setting off some side shoots, so maybe that will be able to stay a little bit longer. I don't know how far into fall marigolds bloom, but so that's that. Tell you guys what's happening out here in the garden. Now, once I get the beans picked off these plants, I am going to get my rake and come in here and break up the soil and try and get the last little bit of weeds and stuff ripped out from the root. And then I'm going to sow this with broccoli and Brussels, I think. And then, of course, just my low growing stuff like my kale and spinach and such, because I have a lot of volunteer lettuce over there. The lettuce up there in those starts is the one thing that is looking great, so I'm not worried about lettuce at all. I personally like romaine lettuce. It's my favorite type of lettuce, so I have a lot of romaine growing up there, and I wanted to start some like that so I could try and get actual heads of lettuce instead of just baby greens, which I think is what this is going to end up being, just because they are growing so close together with other stuff out here. But eventually, like I said, all that is going to be put in there once, in 2-3 weeks, whenever the frost decides to join us and my tomatoes are finally done. So that's kind of everything that's happening here in this space currently. I might come back and chat with y'all when I start planting. think what I'm going to start with is some celery, because I haven't I haven't grown celery before, and it does say to start it inside 8 to 12 weeks before the last frost. But I was reading a blog post yesterday that said that celery is something that you can grow in kind of cold conditions. So this may not work. It says it's a 100-day variety, but I have these like larger chunks of soil and cow manure that haven't completely broke down yet. But basically all I did was I got as many weeds as I could out. Some of these are just not coming out at the root, so they kind of still got their little pieces in there, but I took a rake and raked around this area to kind of make it level, and kind of just turn up the top like 2-3 inches of soil so that the seedlings aren't trying to break through a really compacted dirt. So I think I'm gonna try and do a little patch of celery like right here at the end of this bed. We'll see how it goes. So they're really tiny, like carrot seeds. Like I said, I've never planted celery before. I'm just going to kind of make 2 little rows right here, not putting too many in the ground because, again, I don't want to have to thin. It says the plant should be 6 to 8 inches apart. They'll get 24 inches tall, and that's just a Utah tall celery. So there's that. Now it says a 1/4 inch, but they are super duper small, like carrot seeds. So that kind of makes me a little bit nervous. I'm just gonna try and grab some of this looser soil and just kind of dust it over a little bit, just so that they're covered. But not too much. Okay. Now I have broccoli started over there in ground, and I have broccoli starts. I also have Brussels starts, but I haven't direct sown any Brussels, and I love Brussels sprouts. So it says direct sow 3 to 4 weeks prior to last frost for fall, and it's 85 to 110 days. I don't know what the last thing that was recorded was because my phone ran out of storage, even though I just got a new phone and got the 256 gigabytes. Upgraded from the 64. So I need to go through my photos and delete some of these videos that have already been posted because it's taking up so much storage. But I just deleted my recently deleted album and got 50 gigabytes of space back. So what I was trying to tell you guys was that I have Brussels and broccoli started in the cell tray up on the deck, but I don't have anything direct sown Brussels sprout wise in the garden, but I do have direct sown broccoli, and I don't know if this is going to work direct sowing. I don't know. It says spring and fall, they're cold tolerant, but it says direct sow 3 to 4 weeks prior to last frost for fall. So I don't know if this is like a winter, I don't know. I feel like I should have started a long time ago because it might be too cold for me to get a harvest by the time 110 days comes. But I'm just going to direct sow some of them, and if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, then it's not a problem because I have started Brussels sprouts. So I'm just going to pop these seeds in the ground. And I'm putting about 2 or 3 seeds in each hole here. Okay. Okay, so we got Brussels and celery planted. I'm gonna hold off on the broccoli for right now. I think I'm gonna do more broccoli where the pepper plants are when that time comes. Now, I do have quite a bit of root vegetables going, but I don't have a lot of kale. I also have a lot of lettuce started, so I think I'm going to throw some spinach and some kale along the edges. And if they come up and they're really heavy, I'm just going to try and transplant them in the other bed because I'm going to need stuff over there. Just trying to get as much in the ground now as I can, because I think I'm already, oh gosh, I'm pretty sure I'm already late on sewing. Okay, I was going to try and do some spinach in this space as well, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think there's enough room. So I'll probably do spinach around the broccoli that I put in the middle of this bed. I don't think I'm going to get a harvest off of those green beans I planted on that trellis. So last night I did come out here and I planted some of the little marvel peas all along the trellis because they say they require little staking. And something I really want to get put up in the freezer is frozen peas, because I like to add them as a filler in meals. And we also love chicken pot pie, and I love peas in chicken pot pie. So I think what I'm going to do, so I did the little marvel over there. I think I'm going to plant some of this Thomas Laxton pea right down the middle, because they say quick to mature, no trellising needed for this little plant, only grows 20 inches high. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm gonna head back inside. I'm gonna look at the beans that I got off those plants and set them out to finish their last bit of drying before I shell them. And I'm going to let those bean plants just sit there for a few days to kind of break down a little bit so they get into the trash can a little better. And that's about it, I think, for the garden today. I gotta go inside and get some sewing projects done, fix up some jeans that have ripped. So that is everything I'm planning on doing in the garden today. I think a little bit later tonight I'm gonna come out and make sure that it's moist before I go to bed, because the soil is still damp from when I watered yesterday. So I'm not gonna water currently because I have some inside projects to go get done. But I'll keep you guys updated on the progress of stuff growing in this space, and eventually what we get to harvest, if we get a harvest. Again, this is my first time having a fall garden, so I'm just kind of trialing and erroring things. I have been working the last 2 days on a seed tracker where I've been going through my whole seed collection, making an Excel sheet of all the information on these seeds that I have. And then once I get that Excel sheet done, I have so many more seeds than I thought I did, but once I get all the information generated into one space for me to look at, I can go in and decide how many of each plant I want to grow next year, and then when I need to start the dates, so I can translate my information from my Excel sheet into my planner, so I'm on time with starting seeds and everything next year and direct sowing and everything. So I'm trying to get all that comprised so that next year is a little smoother. But this year we're just going with the flow of things. I am very much that type of person where my brain has to work in lists. So having an Excel sheet that I can refer back to and just add as I continue to buy seeds throughout the years, I can add to it. And also keeping a physical reference in case I am no longer able to access my Excel sheet, I can reference back to my plans for my garden that from years prior. So that's kind of everything that's happening garden wise. Not too interesting. It is taking me forever to get all that information consolidated down to one Excel sheet. But in the long run, I think it'll be great. I do the same thing for like everything in my house. My book collection, I have an Excel sheet so I don't double purchase books at thrift stores and such. So Excel sheets is really something that I wholeheartedly live by. But for now, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and are enjoying this break in the weather as we get into fall here. Thank you for spending time with me in the garden today. Bye y'all. Don't forget to dream big.